This is the Reinvention Stories After 40 podcast,
where women find the courage to rise, rebuild, and reinvent life on their terms.
Real women, real struggles, real transformations. Hosted by Lorna Blake, who has lived the struggle, risen from the ashes, and now holds space for women's powerful stories of courage and reinvention.
And now, here's Lorna.
Welcome to Reinvention Stories After 40. Today, I'm pumped to be welcoming a very special guest and a former client of mine, the phenomenal Venus Jones. Now, today, Venus is a multi-passionate creative who has been an actress, a poet, a professor, a filmmaker, and so much more. And on our show, she is going to be sharing her incredible reinvention story of navigating challenges in the US to moving across the world to start a fresh new chapter in Thailand with her husband. Now, Venus's story demonstrates incredible courage, creativity, resilience, and resourcefulness. Let's jump in and welcome to the show the one, the only Venus Jones. Venus, welcome.
Hey,
It's so great
thank
to
you
have
so
you.
much.
You are
Thank you so
so
much,
welcome.
Lorna.
You're so welcome. So, Venus, I'm going to jump in and ask you. I know you've reinvented yourself many times. Now, we met at one of your events in Florida. You were such a phenomenal poet, presenter that I felt incredibly inspired. I took the time to connect after the show, and in getting to know you, we stayed in touch. And so when you moved from Florida to California, you hired me to help you. So I wanted to ask you, can you share a little bit about what that season was like, or how my coaching inspired you at that time?
Wow. Well, when we first met, I was at, I believe it was a Unitarian Universalist church in Clearwater,
Yes,
Florida.
you're correct.
And you had came after my show. I do remember that. And I remember you feeling we had a synergy around affirmations. So we
True.
connected over affirmations and positive self-talk. And you remember, I was asked to tribute Maya Angelou, and it was about Maya Angelou, and a lot of people compare me to her. And I was asked to do a piece or in a feature around that. It didn't really go that well, but you remembered, and some other people remembered how, when I say it didn't go that well, meaning that there were technical difficulties, but it was the resilience that I demonstrated in that moment that people were like, oh my gosh, who is this? And I just kept it going because that's kind of the way I was taught. Like the show must go on.
Mm.
And so I remember you coming up and you were just like you and someone else was saying, oh my God, the perseverance, and on top of the poetry and all of that. And then what happened was you and I did stay connected, and you were, sometimes when you come, you meet people, and it just seems like for a season, but with you, it seems like for a lifetime because we keep popping in and out. You were helping me. It was like 3 years. I'm 3 years in. I had moved from Bay to Bay. I had moved from Tampa Bay to San Francisco Bay. And that was not my first time moving. I originally grew up in Ohio. So I know a lot about blooming where you're planted, but we were struggling a little bit. I was in a new area, and it was harder because some people don't really know you. So I'm volunteering, I'm doing a lot of the work. And I remember wanting to talk to you because you were talking about helping people with mindset and mindset around money. So that's what we did. We were talking around that. And yes, I remember you saying that I was doing this work and I had to keep doing the work, and you were helping me a lot with just being present and manifesting and welcoming more money. And I remember you welcoming feedback. Everybody does not do that, Lorna. And that's what I loved most about you, is that you are always welcoming feedback. And I remember hearing a quote saying that's the breakfast of champions, feedback. Okay. And
Mm.
considering the source being your students. I love that about you. I love that you're always trying to improve and growth. One of my favorite quotes is, I don't need gravity, I need growth. And you're
Mm.
all about personal development and growth. And that's another reason why we connected. And that's, I think, why we still connect, because we
Mm.
care about women's empowerment. We call it care about healing words. So thank you for continuing to reach out to me and for always still continuing this work and this life around growth and
Oh.
wanting to continue to help others bloom where they're planted. And you were definitely instrumental for me in that
Oh.
moment. I just felt like, am I going to get there? Am I going to earn people's trust in
Mm.
this new neighborhood? And I
Mm.
think that before I was like in such a spiral sometimes
Mm.
because of rejection, because I live with ADHD, and sometimes that you have RSD. And if you don't know, that means it's like it's a condition where you get rejection sensitive dysphoria, and you start to think, is it me?
Mm.
And you helped me remember that the universe is here for me. It's
Mm.
always on my side once I center myself. And I remember you helping me. And after that, it seems like that's when I got the job. I got an application came through where I had applied, and not only I was working with some other fellow professors at the time, I had applied, and I ended up getting I think that's when I earned my job at Mission College. It was
Oh my God, I
as
think I remember it.
an English professor. Yeah, so I started working in that field, and even became a communication professor after that as well.
Oh my God, oh my God,
Yes,
this is
yes,
super
that was
exciting.
partially due to you helping me continue with the best mindset possible, which is that manifestation mindset. Okay.
Oh my God, Venus, thank you. That's so
100%. It was
exciting.
like cha-ching.
Yay! Thank you
They
for
went from
that.
poor little thing to cha-ching.
I know that alone feeds me. I can't say
Yeah,
enough gratitude for that because it's meaningful and it's not just for me, but for many others who may not know me, but may be interested to work with me. Like, who is she and how
yeah,
much does she care? And so, what you've
yeah,
just demonstrated is that I do care
exactly.
and that you're, as a star student, you got results. And I
Yes,
thank you. So,
yes.
fast forward now, Venus, to your life in California. Tell me about
Mm.
what your life was like before your most recent reinvention. Share a bit about what was happening. Were you feeling stuck? What were you dealing with at that point before you decided to make this move to Thailand?
Hmm. Okay, what was I dealing with in California? Oh, so much. I ended up, a rocky start in Cali. It was a rocky start. And I ended up, I remember feeling stuck because I had did a lot. I had did a lot already. But one thing that happened before I left is I earned two grants, not one, but two,
Mm.
um, as an artist. And one of them was that really gave me another oomph during this midlife, because I'm 51, believe it or not.
Oh,
And I'm not
wow.
ashamed to say it.
Wow, you look amazing.
Because I know I look young and I don't look like what I've been through, as they say in a
Mm.
song, because I've had some trials and tribulations, and I was really going through that in California, and not just with my career, but with my health. Uh, I am actually post-menopause, but I was going through a lot in California with menopause. Even after winning awards and stuff, it just seems like a lot of the times you don't feel supported. I didn't know if it was because I was a Black woman in America.
What was the moment that made you say, this is it? I'm out of here now. What
Yeah.
was it that made you say it's time to change
Well,
everything?
my husband heard me saying a lot over the years, because I was worried about the gun violence. I was worried about the ongoing deaths, unrecognizable shifts back to what we didn't want. Like,
Mm.
where you're gonna feel like it's two steps forward, two steps backward. You're like, yeah, we have um so much to be thankful for, but I was just wanting to live for over 15 years. I wanted to live in a more compassionate country. So when my husband got laid off in October,
Mm.
okay, he got laid off in almost a year now.
Hmm.
Wow, because it is. That was our sign that finally we can live in what might feel like for me a more compassionate country, or one where I might feel a little bit more safe with less gun violence and with less trauma and terror around people that look like me. And
Hmm.
I had studied Josephine Baker, James Baldwin, Maya Angelou, Malcolm, so many other artists and activists before me that also had fueled my pivot of wanting to experience what it feels like to not deal with microaggressions, or maybe not deal with feelings of, man, I'm really not being supported, but I don't know why. But I
Mm.
read books like The Sum of Us. I saw movies like Origin that was based on caste. And I was like feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm in the belly of the beast for real.
Mm.
I'm in the heart of the
Mm.
monster. And that was
Mm.
what was making me want to leave. So when my husband got laid off with a mass layoff of a lot of tech company people, we knew that it was our way out. It was our way of finding a chance to explore, because he had already been exploring a lot,
That's
more than I
incredible.
had. As a kid, he was a foreign exchange student, but I had never been immersed in another culture. So we took time to leave and pack up all of our stuff, despite me feeling like I need to pack up my spirit.
What were the biggest fears or challenges that you had to overcome to step into this new chapter? What were the biggest fears or challenges that you had to overcome to step into this new chapter?
Oh, wow. Well, as a first time filmmaker, I had to start asking for assistance from people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I wasn't used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
And no one likes rejection, but
Mm-hmm.
especially when you live with my condition, like some people don't understand it. And I might look like the popular kid, but I was never the popular kid. My brain is different, it's divergent. And I was in this position of challenging myself to be a better leader,
Mm-hmm.
and it meant that I had to sometimes hire and fire people to try to help get this work done. It meant that I was totally out of my comfort zone, but I used the hiring of contractors to try to fund this movie and to
Mm-hmm.
create this movie as a way to focus more on um, a new chapter, if you will. And I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of ready already of like exploring new things. But the fears that were coming up were around, can I do this? And I just knew that I had to keep focusing on God, the God of my understanding. I had to keep listening to that voice. I had to keep listening to positive music and
Mm-hmm.
not think about, oh, I got ADHD, I can't focus, or I'm going through menopause, I can't focus. All these fears, or I'm too over this. You know what happens, right?
Yeah,
You hear all these voices in your head, and sometimes you can be your own worst enemy.
true.
So that was some of the biggest fears that I had to overcome, or not being able to focus on what country I want to live in. But we had already planned a work. He was going with his work coworkers already, and he asked me if I wanted to come, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know if I wanted to come because,
Yeah.
again, thanks to ADHD and anxiety, I was like, I'm
Oh.
not come. I don't want to come without me seeing exactly where I'm going. Because
Mm.
I like to research a lot. I
So
am a
what was
lifelong
coming up
learner.
for you was a lot of anxiety about
A
the
lot
unknown
of
of where you're
anxiety,
going to live.
not knowing where I'm going to live, even for the work trip, because the work trip that they had was a work trip here in Thailand. So one of the reasons Thailand was not even in my top five, to be honest.
Really?
No, we were already planned. It's like you make plans that, as they say, and God laughs.
God
We had
loves.
already planned in our head that we were coming to Thailand as a volunteer trip.
Well,
So when he got laid off, that was our way of saying, okay, well, since we already had this plan to come here to volunteer for this wildlife refuge, why not just take the opportunity to tour through Southeast Asia, which is what we did.
mm,
So, but even coming to the volunteer trip, I was like, I need to see where I'm going to be living specifically. I
wow.
need to see more pictures. And when you want to move and make a move, like even to go on vacation, even
Yeah.
it does pay to do some research and to ask people questions and look more. So we ended up coming here, and sure enough, some people were like, some other coworkers of his was laughing and saying, "Oh, because of my anxiety," I was like, "Look, because I don't see the barracks or where they actually stand." I was like, "I need you to book me something that's a plan B
Oh my
close
God.
by. So he did, and it was called the Fance Lounge. So we ended up staying in like this really nice, but his coworker was like joking and was like, y'all probably paid for the same place we're staying. But come to find out, we were not. We were in a nicer, way nicer place for a very little money,
Oh my God.
all because of my anxiety. So sometimes having anxiety pays off because
You
it's like
see
some
that?
people, think, why are you overthinking everything? It's like some people don't think at all, though, Lorna, as you already know.
But the reality for you as you're speaking is you're speaking to the hearts of many women who want to move abroad and they feel this level of anxiety where they have to know everything.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is sometimes it pays to have that where you are asking those questions and you
So
do want to
yeah,
know. That's what
yeah,
you're
and I
saying, right,
think
Venus?
that's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm saying, don't feel like, oh, am I overthinking it? No, it's good. It's good. And I think that in divine time, though, because like I said, if
Yeah.
you're still having that conversation with the God of your understanding,
Yeah.
it's going to happen in divine time. We could have not planned that it was going to happen the way it did, but it did. And then, and like I said, some things just lined up. And then made it once we got here. Because some people are like, well, how do you do it? And what were you going through analysis paralysis? Yes, I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But there were times where I doubted and thought that we'll never pick a place. But once you get somewhere, you kind of know if it's
Yeah.
for you or not.
Yeah. You've just spoken to the fear, and now I want to know what does your life look like now compared to before? And I want you to give me some contrast. Contrast Thailand versus US in terms of freedom, safety, cost of living, community, daily joy.
Mm, okay. So my contrast, let me think about that. So I want to acknowledge that I used to Mm, I can't even think about it. It just blows my mind how much money we were spending per month
Mm,
on rent. We were
mm.
spending so much in the Bay Area. Um and now it's just not the same.
I think you
It's a
mentioned
fraction.
4,000 for your apartment in San Francisco,
Yeah, and
San
it's one of the
Jose,
it's one of
compared to
the
1,000 now in Thailand.
yeah, less than that. So it's like a
Wow.
lot of a big difference. And I used to stare at my computer a lot for like hours. And I remember Steve telling me that once we moved to a more slow, or more, because Chiang Mai now, there's fast paced places here in Thailand, just like, you can't, a lot of times when we haven't visited a place, or you'll hear people like, it's not like that in Africa has over 50 countries. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got different, even in Thailand, there's so many cities.
Yeah.
There are busy cities just like San Jose, but here
Yeah.
we're in a more laid back city.
Mm,
And Chiang Mai is like way more laid back. And I knew that once I got around this type of culture that's a little more relaxed,
mm.
I knew that it would help me. And it really has. It's almost like you're kind of in a vacation center. So you're going from rush hour traffic, bumper to bumper, to this feeling of, oh, I can walk everywhere.
Mm.
Wow. How has that happened? But then and once we did our Southeast Asia tour, which I can't even get into all the places that we went, but you kind of get an idea when you do like that nomad life for a little bit that,
Mm-hmm.
oh, wait, I like staying in the mountains versus living on the beach, or I like
Mm.
um being able to walk places versus having to drive there. So
Mm.
you get to know yourself. And I was another one was I used to eat out once a month. But now we eat out almost nearly every day, and it's cheaper.
Wow.
So now cooking and eating in is more of an experience, or of a
Mm.
more, you know a way to feel like it's kind of the opposite. Isn't it interesting?
Agreed.
And I used to stress over my hair. Now look, I had to cut my hair off.
I
And
love it.
I have, with my new way of life, I have a new look as well. And it's cooler. It's a cooler look because it is
Yes.
hotter here. So that was
Yes.
also something that changed. And
Yeah.
lastly, I want you to know this. I like, um, I feel like I'm growing old gracefully now because
Mm.
I accepted my little silver strands by going platinum.
Oh, it's so
And I
beautiful.
just feel like I smile at strangers and I do what felt like when I first got here. I noticed that a lot of people go like this. They
Mm.
say what felt like something that I do a lot, and I was already doing that, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand that it's called the way.
Mm.
They go like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a way of greeting people. It's a way of saying thank you. It's a way
Mm.
of showing respect. It's even maybe a way of saying I'm sorry, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so me. So when I saw people doing that, it was different from when in America, like I would do that and people would look at me kind of strange. But here, they look at me like that's normal. Of
You're
course, you're
home.
doing.
You're
So
home.
now when I bow, it's almost like a prayer. And it's a blessing, and it's just a little bit more of that compassion that I was looking for. And
Mm.
I see that, and I'm like, oh, I feel at home because
You're
I, yeah, because I just felt different. I feel like uh, I just felt like it's just more of my speed, you know.
mm. I feel that in
And I'm
my
looking for
deepest
the
heart.
light within people versus people looking and saying, "Are you trying to steal something?" Like I don't
I
experience that. Like going to a store, I don't experience somebody giving me a smirk. I experience someone giving me a smile and I see you.
oh, it's so that's a word right there. So Venus, for women watching who wonder if it's too late for them to start over, what would you say?
Well, I would say that if you feel like you want to start over and you're not sure in a of where your utopia, and there's no such thing as utopia, of course, there's isms everywhere you go, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, but if there's a place that you're going to feel at home and you're studying it and you feel like you're never going to get there, and you've been doing, like I said, it took me over 15 years to get this dream manifested, and sometimes I have to pinch myself and like, did I really do it?
Mhm.
That I actually did this,
Mhm.
but I didn't do it alone. And I want you to know that you're not alone, is that
Mhm.
you can do this in community. There are, believe it or not, 3 different courses I even invested in. So if
Mhm.
you feel like, yeah, I already invested in a course and it didn't work, don't give up. I
Mhm.
invested in 3 courses that
Mhm.
helped me move abroad or get me in the mindset, just like I invested in Lorna and Lorna invested in me, and she's doing that right now. Don't
Mhm.
ever think that you are alone. There's always someone who wants to hold your hand through the challenge,
Mhm.
but you have to be willing to say, I'm feeling stuck. And
Mhm.
you have to be willing to say, I have to hire someone. I can't do it all. A lot of Black women have felt like we can't rely on other people, or we felt like we Black and brown women, sometimes we feel like we got to do it all ourselves, but you
Mhm.
don't. You really don't. You just have to have the courage to reach out, and you never know who's going to reach back.
There's so much good here that we might have to do more another time. But for
No
now,
worries.
how can people get in touch with you? Where can they find you? Share some stuff about where people can reach you, reach out to you.
Mm. Well, I think that the most important thing you can do is to subscribe uh to my YouTube channel,
Mm.
which is youtube.com /Venus Jones.
Mhm.
And you can join my email list, which is you can find that at my official website, which is Venus Jones. And that's, just my name, VENUSJONES.com. And you can get alerts and you can learn more about workshops that I'm doing, performances and retreats. Yes, I want to have some retreats here in Thailand because I'm in retreat central now, right?
Ooh, wee.
And I still want to go to Bali. There's so many places. Why Thailand? Because it's so connected to other bucket list places. It's
True.
so close to Vietnam. We had so much fun. So when I cross the street at Vietnam, if I'm wanting to cross the street really fast and I want to stay like mindful of staying focused, I say it's about to be Vietnam. So I say that so I could go across the street and be mindful of just make a decision. And that's almost a metaphor for life. And what I want anybody watching this class, sometimes you just gotta walk in the same direction, walk with purpose, and cross the damn street.
Oh, oh
Cross,
that's a mic
right?
drop. That's a mic drop. Oh, Venus. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is so incredible. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time together, but I want to say to everybody watching, if Venus's story inspired you, I'd love for you to check her out on her YouTube channel, which is Venus Jones. It's
Yes,
youtube.com/Venus Jones
yes.
or her
YouTube.com/Venus
website,
Jones. Yes.
venusjones.com. She
And that
is
will direct
phenomenal,
and that will
phenomenal
direct them
woman.
to the Red Circle too, because I also have a membership place that I'm building called the Red Circle for Dialogue Advocates.
And she's
Because
got the red circle for dialogue advocates. Now, I also want to invite you, viewers, to check out the resources that I've created, including the Reinvented Life Journal and the Phoenix Reinvention Circle. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember, your next chapter could begin today. Thank you again, Venus. It's been so great to have you. We will talk to you soon. Lots of love, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you, thank you, thank you.